Okay. Thanks guys for hopping on today. Hopefully this time and day works for you guys. We'll do this for the foreseeable future. I'm going to start weekly team inspiration and trainings. So I'm going to have a couple of you guys come on every week and just highlight the things that are working for you and your business and what things you're finding success with, because I think that a lot of you are doing really cool things that we can all learn from, because we all know that we all have room for improvement, and there's areas that some of us have strengths in and others we have weaknesses in. So I'm excited to hear from Noel and Kelly tonight. But the first thing I want to talk about is how this month has been a big enrollment month. And I want to stress the idea to you that this business really does go in cycles. And you might have noticed, if you were around like in January, say January was a big enrollment month. It was the start of the year. It was the start of the quarter. And the first month of the quarter is usually a huge enrollment month. And you're really focusing on getting new prospects in, new potentials in, and closing and enrolling people. That is all what's going on in that first month of the quarter. And so I want you to notice, as your business follows that kind of shift every single month of enrollment. And then next month, it's going to be all about training these people. And that's not only training them, the people interested in the business, but it's training the new people we've enrolled to take their products appropriately. It's training people to use the resources that we have in the back office and the team page and all that. So next month is going to be a lot of training and duplication. So teaching people how to find information, how to troubleshoot products, how to, if they're working in the business, how to have their own online events, how to send out samples, whatever the thing is, right? If it's product focused or business focused. We have all these new enrollments that we had this month. And so next month, we're going to have to train these people. And that's going to be the big focus next month. And then the month after that, it's going to be about retention and ranking up again. So I want you to notice that and be cognizant of that. We're in a big enrollment month right now. So you should be really focusing on network growth, getting new potentials in the door, growing your social media audiences, posting smart, adding value, all of that, being really present, so that you are somebody people think of when they think of Plexus, and that you're somebody that people think of when they think of someone they trust, or someone they would want to get advice from, or someone they'd want to tune into your content on social media, all of that. So you want to be that person all of the time, but this month, big time, because you're going to be getting new potentials that way. And you're also more likely to close people that way when you're very visible and they see that they get to know you more and they trust you more and all of that. So that is this month. And I want you to know that even though Plexus was probably going to have some type of incentive next month for going silver, I bet with all these new people, I'm sure there's going to be some type of silver incentive, or getting 3 type of incentive next month. I wouldn't be surprised if something like that came out with all of these new people, and there's going to be a big push for training, new silvers, training and adding 3. And it's always good for us to add 3. And even though some of us here are really big enrollers, we enroll quite a few people most months, it's okay if you're not one of those people. And it's okay if your business is not in the place where you're enrolling a ton of people. If you're not somebody who is enrolling a bunch of people this month, then I want you to realize why that might be. And the reason that might not be the case right now is because maybe 60 or 90 days ago, you didn't have a big push for getting new potentials. You didn't have a big push for growing your network. You didn't have a big push for adding value to your network, right? Those are the things that a couple months from now are going to cause you to have a big enrollment month, because this business really does go in these 60 to 90 day cycles. And so right now we're in enrollment time, and all these people, we're going to be pushing big time to kind of train them and troubleshoot their products with them, get them comfortable with Plexus and give them resources and all of that. And then the third month is going to be all about retaining those people, really keeping them around, because that 60-day mark, when your newbies can cross that 60-day mark, the likelihood of them being like a Plexus lifer is so much higher. So 60 and preferably 90 days. So if you can get them through that, feeling confident on their products or confident in the business, get them early wins in the business, doing online events, helping send samples, helping do 3-way chats, help them make posts and get a few customers or ambassadors. Those first 60 to 90 days are huge. And then it all comes back around again. And we're going to have another big enrollment month in a few months. And so right now, since we're in an enrollment month, I want us to focus on closing the month really strong, but also at the same time know that this next enrollment cycle is going to come back in another few months. So you better be growing your network right now, finding new potentials, expanding your horizons, joining groups online, joining local groups, making connections, making new friends, adding new people to your network, and adding value to those people so that over the course of the next couple of months, you are someone they see as trustworthy and full of information that they would want to learn and all of that. So I just want to kind of stress that because it's important to notice that. And I know that like I'm enrolling a lot of people this month because it's all about the enrollment, the incentive. I'm helping newbies get started, and I know I'm going to have to train. I'm going to want to train those people next month because I want to have the training and the duplication, which is going to help my team grow. It's going to help your teams grow. When you have a lot of people enrolled in 1 month, then you can move them over and train them all at the same time, and they can learn all kinds of things, and you can duplicate, and that's when your team grows. And then next month, you're retaining those people and hopefully teaching them how to retain their people, right? All the while, the next month, you'll have this new batch of potentials because when you're, working on closing, that closing and enrollment months go right hand in hand with network growth months. So if you're expanding your network and you're adding value, all that, that really should be your focus. This month is being someone who's adding value online and just closing, because then in a couple months, you're going to do that all over again. And I just want you to know that it's okay if like next month, your enrollment numbers are a little bit lower, but that's when you should turn around and all the new people that you have from this month, you should be focusing on their duplication and helping them go silver or have their first events or send us up, all the things I said earlier. Next month is going to be the time to turn around and really have that silver development and a duplication on your team. And that cycle, following that cycle is what's going to help your team grow. And it's what's going to help you rank up on a regular cycle, because there's certain months that are really, really good for rank ups, and some other months that are a little bit slower. There's our joke. So anyway, I want you to realize that this is an enrollment month, but you also need to be growing your network this month. And the next month is going to be like a training duplication month. And so Noel and Kelly are going to talk about those things tonight. So first I'm going to have Noel go, and she's going to be the person that's going to share a little bit about network growth and how she has been able to be a 2-time international Me+3 incentive earner. She's in Canada, and she's been growing her network in both countries for years now. And she's constantly growing her network and enrolling people and expanding her reach and adding value. And I think it's something that we can all learn from, because I know that I have been intimidated by extending my reach out into a different market that wasn't my home country. And it's something that might be uncomfortable for some of us, but Noel has done it really well. And she consistently is enrolling and expanding her network. And she's got a team built in both Canada and the United States. So I'm going to let her talk next. And she's going to tell you a little bit about network growth in both countries. And so let me unmute you. Okay, go ahead, Noel.
Okay, so where do I begin? So I should start by saying that I am American, but I'm also Canadian. So that has benefited me, and I've taken advantage of that. But I am guessing that there are a lot of you that have friends in both markets, or even in Australia, or even in Mexico, in the sense that you probably know somebody that knows somebody that's in one of those two markets. So if you're Canadian, you probably have family in the United States, most likely. If you're Canadian, you probably have friends or something in Canada. This is the wonderful thing about Facebook, is you probably do have people in those markets, because if you're in any kind of group, chances are there's someone from either one of those markets in that group. My biggest thing that I have gained people from is I've found groups that really pertain to my life. With just having Elias, the biggest one that I was in was like a August pregnancy group for last year. And that group had over thousands of people in it. And there were a lot of Americans, and there were a lot of Canadians. There was also a lot of Australians and Europeans and things like that. But I tried to capitalize on really interacting in those groups that I knew had such a wide market, that I knew could benefit me, and not for the sake of like trying to get customers or or ambassadors, but for the sake of really trying to get to know more people in those markets, right? Like, we love Plexus and we're here to promote Plexus, but that's not the only thing we're doing on social media, right? Like, those moms are going through the exact same thing that I'm going through. So just relating to what they're doing in life right now. Maybe you're passionate about health. Maybe you're passionate about nursing. Maybe you're passionate about gardening. Those are some great options that probably there's groups out there that you could get plugged into that have a wide variety of people. So find your niche. If you've done any kind of social media training that Allie's put on, chances are you've been asked to kind of find 5 things that you're passionate about that you want your posts to be focused on, those types of things. Well, also find groups in those categories as well. So that's kind of the first thing. Go out there, find those groups, start interacting in those groups, interact on posts and post yourself, ask questions. And when people respond to your questions, add them as friends, because chances are maybe they're not going to join your Plexus team, but you might get a good social media friend out of it. You never know. Or they might join your Plexus team. You never know, right? So you never want to take someone out of the loop. I just add everyone as friends. If I know them, if I don't know them, if they want to say no and they don't want to add me as their friend, that's their prerogative. If they want to, I've never gotten this, but if this does happen to you, if they want to send you a dirty message and be like, you only added me because, you're trying to sell me something, that's a prerogative. Who cares, guys? Like, I think the biggest thing in growing your network and in building those relationships is not to be afraid of someone coming up against you, because more likely than not, people are all in the same boat and we all want friends, especially now when we can't go out and like hang out with our friends. We want to interact with people on social media. So I want to challenge you guys to do that. I want to challenge you to join 2 groups today after this call, get plugged in. And I want you to post in the group and I want you to interact in the group. And I want you to friend request and see how to grow your network that way. Another kind of branch off this is I have a challenge group that I started a couple years ago, which now has well over 500 people in it. Some of those people are Plexus ambassadors. A big chunk of those people are moms that I met in moms groups, where I decided to put on a challenge, a 30-day challenge. Typically it's a squat challenge because that's pretty easy and everyone can do squats. And I put a post up every day. They comment. That's how you get entered. That's it. But I put that I was hosting the squat challenge in a couple moms groups. When I first did it, I think I had over a couple hundred people like jump in right away. Since then, I've had to, a lot of admins and groups can kind of poo-poo those ideas. So out of sake for getting your post shut down or deleted right away, go in and find the admin and just ask if it's okay. You could even say something like, hey, I'm doing this challenge group. I would really love to put a post up in the group page. Is that allowed? I'm not going to be marketing my business at all, if they question that down the road or whatever. And a lot of times they'll just say yes. So that's a great way to get some more friend requests. What I do is I make a private group. In that group, I have to have everyone friend request me to be able to be in the group. So that's a great way to add friends too and build your market that way. And I would say in the past year and a half, probably 75% of the people I have signed up have come from that group, which is awesome. They are people that I've known for a long time have signed up, but then this is a total separate network that I've just built by basically stepping out and choosing not to walk in fear of like, oh my gosh, I'm going to offend somebody, or oh my gosh, someone's going to think I'm weird, or I'm going to say the wrong thing. We get to hide behind these phones and these screens, and it's actually kind of a blessing, you guys. Like, in this business, I find it so much simpler to talk to someone I don't know about Plexus than to reach out to a friend that I've had for years and years and years. So if you find that that's easier for you, capitalize on that. Reach out to those people, build those relationships, start talking to them, They're going to be posting about things that they're struggling with. Interact with those posts. Yeah. Did I touch on everything, Allie? Sorry, I kind of just rambling, you guys.
No, that was good. And I think I love that you mentioned how many people have joined your team from these groups that you've been hosting, you know, and I think that just goes to show you can absolutely grow your network with people that you've never, ever, ever met before. And
Yeah.
these people have new networks. So if they're interested in sharing with their friends and family, these people all have fresh networks that have not been touched by Plexus before. So the opportunity is enormous there for your own duplication and team growth. And so not letting yourself kind of be caught up in, I have a small network, I don't know anyone else, like all those things. Like, just don't let yourself go to that place, because if you don't feel like anybody you know is interested at the moment, or whatever, your network is cold, there is a whole world out there that you can go find. And I've done a similar thing. I interact a lot in interest groups, and that's like where my bread and butter with my new enrollments come from that. And so beyond like friending people and kind of interacting with them, do you see, I kind of like picture it like a little roadmap in my head of like how this person becomes like someone totally cold to me and then becomes a really hot prospect? Like, do you see like a process that your people tend to follow?
Yeah. So what I like to do is a couple different things. Once I friend request them, clearly I post daily. I mean, I think you guys know I've been around Plexus for 4 years now, so I will always at least post one Plexus post, sometimes more. I am consistent in that, and whether or not people jump in from a post, I think that's pretty rare. I think they see the consistency when you continue to post. And so it kind of puts a bug in their ear. Often, I would say once a month, I will put up a giveaway post. And that is a great tool that I find, that by doing a giveaway post, you see who is secretly watching your posts. So I'll go and I'll interact with a bunch of friends. I'll throw up a giveaway post, and chances are I will have 15 new people who I've not talked to about Plexus yet, typically who are newer friends, and they'll tell me they're interested. And then from that point on, until they tell me no, I will continue to follow up with them. And yes, sometimes following up can be scary because you don't want to offend anybody, or, oh my gosh, you just reached out to them and they didn't answer your message back. But you guys, get over yourselves. Like, I don't know how many times I can tell you this. I will follow up with someone until they tell me no. Even if they have not replied to my message 1, 2, 3 times, I will still follow up with them. I will check back in when there's a deal. I will check back in multiple times. Even if they've told me, hey, yeah, I'm thinking about it, I will still follow up with them. Like, I think we get really shy and we're kind of like, oh, I don't want to step on toes. They've kind of told me yes. I really want to be gentle about this. Like, I don't know if you guys can tell. I've kind of had a bad day. So I'm like, just nailing you a little bit here. But like, if you want the sale and if you want them on your team, you have to continue to follow up with them until they say yes, or until they specifically tell you, no, I'm not interested. Or I will come back to you when I'm interested. And then at that point I say, okay. And I always let them know that, like, hey, like, hope I haven't offended you. If I have offended you, I've asked people if I've offended them probably by the second or third, like, check-in. And I would say 100% of the time, everyone has said, no, you haven't offended me. I've just forgotten this message. So, like, chances are, if you aren't hearing from people, you need to check back in with them. Okay,
what do you say, Noel?
What was that?
What, like, in that message, like, kind of what is your verbiage? Because I have a lot of people who, I'll ask them and they do respond eventually, but, like, do you have kind of something that you say, like, that makes it not sound
my offended message?
Like, when you get to that third and fourth, like, follow up.
So I'll just say, like, hey, I'm just checking back in. I really hope I didn't offend you. I just love these products so much, and I just wanted to see what your thoughts are on them. Or I'd kind of tailor it to, like, where I was before. Or if they haven't responded and they've told me they are ready to start, it's like, hey, I hope I didn't offend you. Like, did you just miss my last message? Is there something holding you back? Like I really try and ask those questions that require a response. And there's times if it's been months, I'll check in and it won't be about plexus. So I'll try and make something that's not about plexus, so they interact with me, so I know that we're still on good terms. Hey, how are you doing being stuck at home right now? Are you struggling with this COVID thing? Like, because I generally want to know how they're doing, because that's my heart, is I do care about people. Then once they respond back to me, just kind of keep the lines of communication open. And then next time there's a deal, I'll circle back to them. Hey, I know you were interested in plexus a long time ago. Do you think that now might be a better time to start, or you might be interested in hearing more of the specials now, something like that?
I think
I feel
that's
like
really
when
good.
I think about following up. Oh, sorry.
It's okay. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I feel like when I'm following up like this, when I have like what I like some time that's elapsed, and then I ask like that direct question, the thing that always comes to mind is, oh, like how it used to be like when you're dating, like, oh, I wait 3 days. So it's like I find myself writing in my planner on this day, okay, like follow up, and then on this, like just like check in with them, see how they're doing, and then like 3 days later. And I feel like sometimes I forget to like circle back again because I'm putting these like blocks of time. Do you find that you do that, Noel, or do you just kind of let it flow as it happens naturally?
I am not the best organizer person. That's Allie. If you would like the organization, I literally use Messenger as my organizer. I go through Messenger and I literally just go back. Oh, that month. Okay. If I'm doing a massive reach out, I'll go through Messenger and look back months, just person by person. I write down who I followed up with in my planner, but I don't do the 3 days out. I don't do the, like I'm constantly in Messenger checking who I've messaged and who I've worked with and who said yes and who said no. And, I that's what works best for me. I know Allie has a long list in her phone that she's like, her potential is basically who've said yes, who said no, who's, who you need to reach out with when you're doing a deal, that kind of thing. But I'm a little more messy in things just because I find that that's what works best for me. And sometimes, very rarely, I'll get those few people that slip through the cracks and it's been a month or two and they've said, hey, I'm interested, or hey, like, and I just go back then and be like, oh, I'm really sorry, I just missed this message. Like, and just kind of pick up where we left off.
Yeah, I think that's important too. Like, do what works for you. Totally. Like, whatever kind of fits your style. I know a lot of us do different things. But I think the point is urgency is important. Like, if somebody's interested and you're talking to them, even if you sent them, for example, if I sent somebody information on Monday, right? Now is Wednesday. I sent them information on Monday. I sent them the stuff about the anxiety products. And I said, I'm going to give you some time to look this over and I'll circle back tomorrow. I told her I will circle back tomorrow. And then I circled back the next day and she said, this is great. I'm going to send this to my husband because I think we both can use this. And I said, awesome. Would it be okay for me to circle back with you the next day, which would be today, on Wednesday? And she was like, that would be great. And so I'm going to talk to her again today. And so I'm not letting like days go by. I'm telling her, I'm going to ask you tomorrow. Is that okay? Does that work? And I think that's important, instead of like, okay, talk to your husband. And then like a week goes by and they probably forgot, like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like they have lives too, guys. And like their number one priority is not plexus and it's not you, it's their own life. So this is your business and this needs to be a top priority for you. So whatever system works for you, or if it's no system, whatever the thing is, even if it's saying, hey, Siri, remind me to message Samantha on Tuesday afternoon, whatever that is, right? Like if that's what you're doing, go for it. But the thing is, you have to do it. You can't let fear get in your way. And it's okay if people, don't respond to one message, then wait a day and say, hey, I noticed you didn't respond last time. Is everything okay? Whatever, right? So, but sense of urgency is important. So I'm glad that you mentioned that, Noel. Like,
I just want to touch on one thing you said, Allie. You had said, like, we are not their top priority and they are not thinking about us. And guys, that's the best way to put it. Like 99% of the time when someone looks at your message and doesn't respond, it's because they got busy. Like how many of you have these watches? I think most of you on this call. if you check the message on your watch, you don't get the notification. You get the notification that you've seen the message on your phone. So when you go to pick up your phone, how many of you have forgotten that, like, you saw that message? Like, we're all in the same boat here. Like, so you have to give the person the benefit of the doubt that they probably forgot about your message. So get over yourself and message them again. That's all I have. Sorry, you probably should talk to Kelly now.
Absolutely. And I think, yeah, that urgency all the way to close is important. And so that's kind of all we're talking about in closing this month strong too. It's like, I want you to do these things that Noel said, take the challenges, join some groups, interact with people, make new friends, be expanding your network, you guys, because when your cold network or when your warm network runs out and you've talked to your Aunt Sally and all your cousins and your neighbors and your coworker, like all those people are going to run out. And so next year, 2 years from now, you need to have a whole new network. I've been doing this for 4.5 years. I have recreated my network over and over and over again. And most of the people joining my team now are people I've never met before. And they're from these interest groups or meeting online on Instagram through hashtags or whatever, because they're watching my stories and they're seeing my videos and they're whatever, right? It's the value that I'm providing, but I have to have people to provide it to, right? So take Noel's challenge and get in some groups and start interacting and start providing content and friending people. And then when you see people with needs that you can address, don't be afraid to reach out to them. And when you have a conversation going or they reach out to you, don't be afraid to follow up. And so we're going to be working on closing this month really strong while you're growing your network, knowing that in 3 months, it's going to come around where we're going to be needing to enroll big time all over again. And so something really unique about this month is that we have the $9.95 enrollment with the opportunity right off the bat. You can get the stimulus bonuses. And Kelly did a great job of pitching this to her girl, Crystal. And she joined with the $9.95, enrolled her first few ambassadors in a matter of days, got her bonus, was able to buy a welcome pack, and is now silver. And so I want Kelly to talk a little bit about, I'm trying to find you to unmute you. I want Kelly to talk a little bit about how she had Crystal as a potential, right? Followed up, and how that conversation went to get her to join with just the $9.95. How did she pitch the business to her? How did that all work? And how did she lead her to success? Because that's an amazing story that I want for all of us to be able to do with our people. So you can go ahead.
All right. Hi, everyone. Thanks for that intro. All right. So I actually went back in my messages, to see, because she was a former student of mine. And the first time she actually reached out to me was February 27th of 2019. So that goes to show it takes however many touch points, right? Like this wasn't a instant thing. So a year ago, she reached out to me and asked for help for her mom. And so I sent her lots of information. We had a long conversation over the course of a week or two. And then her mom decided she wasn't ready. So we just stayed in touch. I told her happy birthday when her birthday came around. And then just this February, she reached out to me again and said she wanted a probiotic because she'd had her gallbladder out. So it was for her. I scheduled a chat. So, and I think Facebook took that feature away in Messenger, which is super frustrating because I used to use it all the time. I asked her she said she needed a few days. I said, okay, well, I'll schedule a chat. And I literally scheduled it in the Messenger. So then like the little alert comes on for both of us. And then we chatted again, which I don't know if I could get that feature back. It'd be really nice. Anyway, so when I reached back out to her, I invited her to an event, and we had an event a few days later. She came to that and participated in it, and she was all in. I think this is what I need, but did not have the money. So that was all end of February. I reached out to her again in March about the deal. Same thing, wasn't ready because of finances. So then when the $9.95 came out, I sent her a message, same thing. Are you ready to get started? I'd love to help you find 3 so that you can afford to get these products. She signed up that night for the $9.95. And while she was signing up, we were chatting back and forth about shipping, and she picked the wrong shipping, not the 1 cent shipping, but got it fixed. So we were chatting, and I said, okay, well, go log in, look in your virtual back office. There's lots of resources there. I said that I want to help you find 3 people. So let's talk about sharing. And I said, I think you're going to need to do your first Facebook post. She asked, what should I do? I said, It's got to be a picture of you. Don't be scared of it. I need a selfie of you, how excited you are. Do you need help writing it? Yes. I said, okay, let me send you something. So I sent her just a little blurb. She edited it, and it was way better than anything I had written. So she made it really honest, and her first post was really great. I sent her some of the April graphics that we had that talked about the 10% and then $9.95. And so I tagged her in a few posts that I thought would be great for her to share. I also showed her how to save Facebook posts because she didn't know how to do that. And then I put her in our Facebook posting group and just kind of talked to her a little bit about how important it was to be consistent, which clearly my consistency also worked, so she had seen me for over a year too. So be consistent, mix it up, because she went like 3 Plexus posts, like boom, boom, boom. And so then I tagged her, the social media training or something was happening, or you could put something about social media. And so I tagged her in that, and I was like, read this, spread it out, you need to talk about yourself a little bit, which she had been before. So I was like, pump the brakes on Plexus and mix it in. And she's done a great job since then too. But she had her aunt ready to go. Her mom finally was ready now that she had started. So she had 2 people ready to go the very next day. So she's like, I'm just going to order my welcome pack because they're signing up. So she knew she was on the way to making money. So she got her third, who was another $9.95. And so I said, you need to get her to do the same thing. And her friend is not as open yet. So hopefully we can get her friend to start sharing too. And then she's added her 4th since then. And then just along the way, we've talked back and forth. We also got on a FaceTime together, me, her, and her mom. And we talked through all the products, and that was a good time for me to talk to Crystal about what the products can do, what a good schedule is like, how to help people through detox. So it's like a 3-way chat, but way better because I'm telling her mom and she's listening as well and learning as we're talking. I sent her a tracking products document that I have, and I was like, you need to write it down, what you feel like today, especially her mom, because she's going through a lot. So I said, I want you to write everything down so that you know where you were at today, so you can compare it in a week, in 2 weeks, and keep following up with your mom and everything. So that was really good to do that together. I wrote all this down. So we haven't done any 3-way chats. I've talked to her about them, but so far she's just come to me with questions. I have somebody with migraines. What would you recommend? I have somebody with menopause stuff. What would you recommend? What do I say if somebody says, what is Plexus? And so I sent her that long, I'm sure Allie, you typed it up 4 years ago, that like, what is Plexus, the whole thing. I said, keep this somewhere and just use it in parts. And so if you don't have that, ask Allie for it. And then, so yeah, it's just been like an ongoing back and forth conversation between us. She's still posting, which is great. And she's in my leaders chat group, and she's also in the Rising Diamonds one. And I think I saw she asked a question just now. So it's been good. She's great. So that's it. That's all I got so far.
I love that you mentioned how long you had spoken to her, and that when a deal came out that could benefit her, you reached out to her and helped her so closely and got on the Zoom with her and her mom and explained the things that they needed to know, and have really been working closely with her. And I think that definitely your consistency was something that she knew she could trust. She had seen you do this successfully, share successfully, and she knew that, her sharing could lead to her earning some income. And so I think that being an example for these people is important. And when you are inviting someone to, earn some income or whatever, showing them that you are going to be accountable for them, there for them, they can trust you, you're going to provide them with what they need, but also you need to be talking to them so often, like multiple times per day when people are starting. they don't know everything you know. Even if you've only been in it a couple months, you've learned a lot in these last couple months, right? It's just like any job. Like, you don't start day one knowing what to do. And I think people can be really fearful because it can be overwhelming because there's a lot to know and there's a lot to do and be in charge of. But the baby steps are important, and sharing on social, and then allowing them to feel free enough to ask you every little question, and make sure that you're prompt in answering those questions. Because if you're not answering questions in a prompt manner, they're going to stop coming to you, and then they're going to stop working because they don't know what they need to know, right? And so I think, and that goes for potentials too. If you're not like, if you have no sense of urgency with your team or with your potentials, your business has no sense of urgency. It's just going to fall apart. So I think that that's important, how much communication that went on between her and Kelly, and how helpful she was, and how she wasn't afraid to present the opportunity to her and say, I want to help you afford these products. I know they will help you. Will you allow me to help you? Right? Like, listen to the way that like sounds for someone. Like, I want this for you. I want to help you. Will you let me help you? I want you to afford these products. Like, this is how we're going to do that. And so not letting the opportunity be a deterrent, because sometimes the opportunity can be a bigger blessing than the products to some people. And so I think that we all need to know that, yes, there's like a week left in the month, but that doesn't mean someone out there could use this opportunity, go out there, earn a few $100, and it could be life-changing for them, and they can afford these products. So I want you to think of anybody who maybe can't start with a welcome pack right now, but heck, they've got $10 and they could use, another 600, So I want you to remember those people and not be afraid of reaching out to those people where money was a deterrent, and circle back to them and follow up with them and say, hey, I thought of you. And we've got an online event, going on soon, and you can invite them to that, and they can invite their people to that, and you can help them get in 3-way chats and close the deal. Like, we've got time. It's not, we have over a week left in the month. And so I want you guys to make sure that you're following up with urgency. Don't be afraid to present the opportunity, especially not with $9.95 enrollment. You guys, are you kidding? And they can earn like the extra stimulus bonuses without even purchasing a welcome pack. Like, that is humongous. An investment of just $10. Like, it's unheard of. So I want you to be excited about that and not fearful of it. And don't let that deter you, because I know a lot of people could probably use it in your network. Does somebody have any questions? Sorry.
Do they have till they have to order the welcome pack? Because I have a couple of people who are like that, but I don't know if I've poised it like to where it makes sense to them.
Yep. So if they get the $9.85 enrollment with the 7-day trial pack, they can earn the stimulus bonuses and the welcome pack, the business building bonuses. So they'll still earn those without ordering a welcome pack. Right. But if they order a welcome pack by the end of the month, they will get the any rank up achievement bonuses and Plexus pay points, because that comes in with our commissions after the end of the month. So all of the after end of month commissions, they won't receive those if they don't get a welcome pack before the end of the month. But if they do get a welcome pack before the end of the month, then they will receive those things. So what they're earning now with the $10 is the business building bonuses from welcome packs, which is $25 per welcome pack, and the stimulus bonuses, which is $100 on 3, another $250 on 6. So that's huge with only a $10 investment. Like, that's enormous. And obviously that would allow them to purchase a welcome pack too. Because they would get the stimulus money. If they enroll 3 people tomorrow, that stimulus money, it's supposed to come in less than 72 hours, but personally, I was getting mine the next day. Very next morning I saw it deposited in my Paylution account. So people could absolutely enroll. I'm just
wondering, like, if they're not necessarily like, I don't want to say interested in working their business, but like, if they really like financially, they want to can they do the the welcome pack and then, the $10 enrollment and then buy a welcome pack next month? Like, if they want to get going, or no?
Yes, they still have the normal 30 days to get their welcome pack.
30 days. Okay.
Yeah. So I thought you meant for the stimulus. I'm sorry if I misunderstood that. I thought you meant for the stimulus, but normally people have 30 days to buy a welcome pack. So they still can do that.
I didn't know that. I thought that they had to buy it when they did it. That's where I think I got confused.
Nope, you can go through enrollment. Obviously, we don't encourage that, and I don't promote that to anybody. It's not a good business decision, because you as a business that are making $0 on someone buying that $9.95 7-day trial pack. And if that's the only reason that they're joining, they're better off as a customer. But if they are interested in getting started and you're going to help them buy a welcome pack, and or share, which you should be doing, helping them share with a few people, then, you know, that's an appropriate decision. But it's kind of like a fallback. You know, I haven't presented that to anybody this month that I haven't presented the business opportunity to, because I've very rarely people that join without a welcome pack actually go on to purchase a welcome pack. I've had probably 2 people ever in all of Plexus, like at my Plexus career, like do that, unless they were like enrolling people in order to earn the money to or buy a welcome pack, if that makes sense. So, because it's hard when people are just like they want this $10 deal right now, and then they're you know, waiting to buy a welcome pack down the line. So much happens between them taking advantage of the deal and being ready to buy a welcome pack. If they're not enrolling anybody or getting customers or whatever, they have no influx of new income. So it's going to be even harder if they end up buying a welcome pack, if they after they've purchased it, it's going to be even harder for them to continue to keep up with their products. And so I always suggest working with people to try and share, have online events for them, get customers, whatever. Because if that financial hardship is something that's consistent in their life, it's going to be difficult, and they can only afford $10 at the end of this month. It's going to be really hard for them to continuously afford $100 in products. And so that's why I really, really, really stress sharing business with these people, because it can be truly, truly life-changing for them. And I don't want us to shy away from that huge opportunity. So yeah, that was kind of a tangent, but does anybody have any other questions? Oh, I see some chat stuff. Let's see. Oh, yeah, Kelly's you're sharing the product tracking document so people can track their like symptoms and how they're feeling and stuff, right? Yeah. As they're taking their products, and they can kind of look back and see how they're doing and compare. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
I don't know how to easily put it in this, but I'll try.
Oh, maybe
on the team page. I can do that. It's a PDF, so I wasn't quite sure how that works into this sucker.
Okay. Yeah, maybe in the comments of this training post on the team page, maybe that's a good place.
Okay. Yeah, I can do that.
Awesome.
Kelly.
Okay, does anybody have any other questions?
I do. Sorry, just one more thing.
Yeah.
Kelly, you mentioned like when you were getting her started and you were like kind of going through that process. And I know, Allie, there's like a lot of really great resources on our BH page and stuff. But sometimes I find like, you know, just it like you forget like what would be like a good starting point as far as like this is a good one to start. Like I have like a list of, because I think Allie, you just recently did it actually, like where you sent out, you know, here's like a couple things that are really great to do when like somebody starts out. But like if you know that you have somebody that's starting out on the business side of things or is interested, like Kelly, it sounded like you very kind of systematically walked her through things. Was it just like what came to mind, or do we have a place
that it was systematic and intentional? But I think number one was the virtual office. Like she needed to know it's all in there. Like if you ever can't get a hold of me or something. So that was number one, was to point her in that direction. And then like along the way, it was all in bits. I didn't overflow her. I've done that before, and that's too much to just go and then send this message and then go to this website. And then so I didn't want to do too much. So it was constant contact. I did eventually send her the link to the Joyome site, which is a beautiful website. I sent her the link to the Be Beautiful Plexus one. And everyone should have that one. I hope you all have it. So I gave her that one, and I said, if you ever want info sheets, you know, or ingredients or whatever, this is where you should go. Yeah, and then it was like, do you need help with a message? Okay, I'll send you a sample one. I've told her about the event. This is Thursday. Like it's been dripping information. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not working now, so it helps, you know, like that's been huge to be home and like actually able to, at the moment, answer a question. So not to say you can't do this while working a full-time job, not at home, whenever that happens again, because obviously I've been working this for 4 years with a job, but it has helped a lot for Crystal, for me to be available. Like Ali said, like when they ask, you need to be answering as quick as possible. Otherwise they'll stop asking. And I think that can be true. So did that answer your question? I hope.
Well, you just mentioned like a couple places that you like tagged her. And so I was just curious what those were.
Yes, they were all in the Be Healthy, Be Plexus page, I think. And I think some of them were my own posts. Like I searched a topic. Oh gosh, sorry, don't know. Zero help. I can't remember.
I think, well, like you just said, like topics. Like I think that's kind of, you know, like kind of breaking it down into different things, like virtual office, like posting, like at least that's how my mind works. And so then I can help somebody by like directing them to those things. But just, is there somewhere that has those, Allie? Or is it just kind of like, as we learn, we know them?
Well, we have the Sharing Made Simple training that is pinned as an announcement at the top of our team page still. We haven't revisited that in a while because I need to redo like the welcome pack video that's in there because welcome packs are always changing so quickly. But I actually just tagged someone in it the other day. In there, there's a video tour of the virtual office. It's a crash course for your business. So it's meant to be a training where if somebody wanted to sit down and learn all the things, they could sit down and do it in about an hour. But if not, there's something like 10 or 11 posts, and each one has like a description of the thing and a video with it. So it's like,
the link,
you know,
I remember seeing it.
Posting, for example, posting tips and then a video, and then how to make your connections list and then a video, and then where to find things in the virtual office and then a video, and like stuff like that. So that training is there and is wonderful. And I suggest if you're going to use that, you plug them into it and then like ask them about their progress. Like, hey, I would like you to view this thing, and then follow up with them about it, right? So did you see that? Did you watch that? What did you think? Were you able to find this? That kind of thing. So I don't just like dump it on them and leave, but use it as a resource to kind of like walk them through training. And I think that that's important to have those, you know what I mean? And you know, knowing them, you know, having them know where the things are in the back office and the shareables and all that, that's great. And that's in there. I mean, that's part of the virtual office tour. That's in that Sharing Made Simple training on the team page. Jody McComas did that. She walked through the whole back office and it describes where all the things are and how to find resources on that. So that's there. The Beautifully Plexus website that Kelly referred to, that was started, I believe, last year, and it has all like product info and resources and info sheet and like ingredient type of information on there. And that is like in the middle of getting a facelift right now, but the resources, the nuts and bolts are there. It needs like some updating, but overall the nuts and bolts are there. I've been kind of waiting for it to be done before like sharing it all with the team. I think I put it in a couple chats here and there, but I can put it in our chat again, just so you guys have it and can bookmark it or whatever as a place to refer to, because it's a website that you don't need it until you're really looking for the nitty gritty about the products, if that makes sense. That's kind of the content that's really on there. That's different than something you would just find like in the back office or on Facebook or in our team pages or whatever. That's kind of how that website stands out. And so it's, you know, it takes a certain kind of person to need all of that information. So anyway, I'll put that again in our chat and you guys can kind of refer to it, because it's a good resource if you don't have it bookmarked. Okay, anything else?
I looked it up too, and I tagged her in 3 educational posts. That's what I did. I was like, because I wanted her to start mixing in educating her friends. So I was like, here's 3 good ones. So I just searched the team page for probably triplex and gut health and stuff. I do remember at one point though, she asked me a question about her mom, and I told her how I found it. It was about fibromyalgia, and I said, oh, all I did was go to Facebook and type in plexus and fibromyalgia, and here's, you know, and then I copied and pasted to her and kind of was like, so teaching her, this is how simple it really can be. So yeah,
I think that's important to show people too, is not just giving them the resources, but showing them how to find the resources. So instead of like, here's this info on this, this is how I found it. Or yeah, I know where you can get that. Go here, type this in and search that, and it'll be the 3rd thing that pops up or whatever, right? Telling people how to find the things. So it doesn't seem so daunting and they feel enabled instead of just like everything's handed to them all the time. Because, you know, at some point, you know, you need to, they need to be able to find their own resources and they're never going to be able to if you don't show them where to get them. So I think that's important too.
I have one thing, Ellie.
Okay, awesome.
What is Plexus that Kelly was talking about that she said you probably did 4 years ago? Can you maybe put that in the comments, like she's going to put the file so we have that?
Yeah, I'll go find that.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Okay, ready to go. Anything else? Anybody needs to know anything? Hopefully this time works. We'll do this again next week. We'll have 2 new people next week. It might be one of you. I haven't asked them next week yet. But I'm recording this and we'll share these each week for the foreseeable future until, you know, our schedules all change. But for now, we're all home. So, well, most of us are, and this hopefully works for a lot of us. And I'm excited to be highlighting some of you and how awesome you guys are doing. And I'm really, really proud of how many of you are in Consistency Club. I know some of you were working really hard to earn that. And I loved seeing how many announcements were on our team page. Like, it was awesome. You guys are rocking it. And Q2 for Consistency Club has just begun. So whatever you ended March at, your rank begins your holding rank for Q2 to sustain that rank. And if you rank up, then you're now holding that new rank. So there's all kinds of fun prizes to choose for maintaining that rank throughout the quarter. So I'm excited to see who earns it again, but congrats to all of our Consistency Club earners because that was really exciting. And I loved how many announcements were made today because our team is on fire and you guys are awesome. So let's close this month strong. And I'll be posting this on the team page as well as the other resources that we talked about, and keep your eyes peeled for next week's meeting info. Okay. Bye guys. Thanks.